Hi everybody, Kurt here with the Internet Time Machine, and we're about to blow the roof off a Facebook secret. Now I'm going to backtrack a second, but if you remember, there's a great myth out there about how do I make money with the iPhone? And the myth is create an app and $1 million will show up at your door the next morning. And if you looked at the search logic and the search numbers behind it, you saw at the App Store and the apps were actually cannibalizing each other. There were more apps than people needed. I think we're over 160,000 apps. And the Internet Time Machine showed you a big niche coming, that is the iPhone car holder, because more and more people are using the iPhone as a GPS device as well as for talk, text, and other things like that. So that's one of the myths that we debunked and showed you a niche to make money. While in Facebook, there's a huge market dawning that you can make a ton of money in. Now, if you're not familiar with Facebook, they have social media games on there. You may have heard the words Farmville, Mafia Wars, something like that. And those are interactive games that millions of people play. Now, everyone who's in the Facebook community and is kind of entrepreneurial thinks, God, what I wouldn't give to have developed Farmville, or I want to make the next Mafia Wars. Well, if you do searches on that and you see there is probably the biggest competition in the world right now to come up with those next games, all the way from new startups all the way up to huge players like Electronic Arts, Nintendo, and Facebook itself. But what if I told you you could make a boatload of money without much effort? This screenshot behind me is from ClickBank. And what it is, it's a Farmville cheat sheet or course on how to do well at Farmville. It gives you tips. Probably didn't cost more than a few $1,000s to develop, if that. And I'm not going to get into what all these ClickBank numbers mean, but it means he's making a boatload of money. The high gravity, the high affiliate, it's one of the most popular products, most successful on one of the biggest affiliate networks in the world, for those of you that don't know what ClickBank is. I mean, he's making hundreds of thousands of dollars easily, if not millions, with having the best having the best Farmville cheat sheet or course on how to do well at Farmville. But what if you could find out what the 5 most popular games are, up-and-comers on Facebook that people are playing, and you created the first cheat sheet or the first video course on how to do well at these games? Well, we used a statistical analysis and used the Internet Time Machine software to find out what the 5 quickest growing games are on Facebook in order to tell you, so that you can get first access to SEO, PPC, and developing a product to have the guide to X. So let me jump over to the Internet Time Machine and show you what the 5 biggest games coming up are and where you want to create your ebook or your product in order to have all these people come to you for help. Let's go.
Hey everybody, this is Kurt with the Internet Time Machine, and for those that aren't familiar with our user interface, we monitor 3 different sections of worldwide conversations and trends. The first one is most recent mentions. It's what everyone is talking about in the last 24 hours. Potential trends developing over the last 24 hours, meaning a lot of people looking for something and not a lot of resources, whether organic or PPC, out there, as well as core trends, meaning trends that are developing where demand is going up and supply is remaining constant. So one of the things I like to show people is I'm going to put Farmville in the filter here. Farmville is probably the biggest social media game in the world. It's played on Facebook. It has millions of users. And in the Internet Time Machine alone, there's over 121 terms involving the word Farmville, where there's increased traffic and yet not enough PPC or organic to keep up with that increased traffic. So it's a monster game. It even has Farmville addiction disorder here. So taking a look at Google Trends, I pulled up Farmville. You can see the monster rise it had. Remember, this is judged on a scale of 1. And it rocket shipped through 1 all the way up to 10 times its search volume in about 3 months. Massive game, massive potential. So we came back and, as you know, if you're an Internet Time Machine member, we did a video early on called Do You Know Farmville? You better see this video on crushing it. And what we did is we talked about a product on ClickBank, which is an affiliate network, called Farmville Secrets by TDub. Now you don't have to be familiar with ClickBank or affiliate networks, but just looking at these numbers, having a gravity, G-R-A-V number of 151 is amazing. That means lots of people are selling it, lots of people are making sales. So this product alone, ClickBank is one of the biggest marketplaces, affiliate marketplaces in the world. Farmville is one of the biggest games in the world. This product is easily making a couple $100,000 a month, if not probably millions of dollars a month. It's been up here for a long time, and as Farmville has grown, its numbers has grown. And what it is it's just a website for tips and secrets and how to do well at on the Farmville game. So when we came in, we started seeing in our daily mentions, even before it became a trend, we started seeing the word My Empire just in daily conversations, which is unusual to see in the year 2010. It's not Roman times, as well as Family Feud, which I thought was funny because I grew up watching the show and I didn't know why it was showing up with people conversing. So we did some research and pulled up this post today. And what it is, from All Facebook, which is a big blog all about Facebook, it's the 5 Facebook applications that are growing the most in popularity, or the quickest growing games. We have Nightclub City, which is a game about building a nightclub, kind of appealing to many young Facebook people. And I'm just going to pull it up real quick here. Growing very much in popularity. Family Feud, which explains why we saw it, showed up as well. It's a game based on the game show that Facebook is getting very popular on Facebook. You can see how many people like it. 1,300 already. My Empire, which explains what else we saw. Game developed by Electronic Arts. It was only released 2 weeks ago. And it's already growing very quickly. It's about building an empire. So these are the games on Facebook that are showing the most and quickest growth. So we have Ranch Town, which is developing, you build a ranch instead of a farm to keep it simple, as well as Millionaire City, which is again Electronic Arts, who are the big boys in video game making, and it's developing investments while being a millionaire and living in a great city. So this is really interesting stuff. And if I go and I look at the Google Trends, like we showed for Farmville, what I did was I just typed in all of those names of those games. I did a search. Now let's zoom in. You notice Family Feud is the largest because it's been a game show for a long time. But let's look about 2 weeks ago starting, maybe a month ago. Look at the massive spike just in Family Feud. Now look at My Empire right here. Now granted that word can be related to other things, the word empire. Look at this start to take off. And you're also going to see Nightclub City, which has been out the longest. Remember, some of these games have only been out 2 weeks. Nightclub City is taking off. So here we have the 5 biggest, quickest growing games on Facebook, appealing to different demographics than Farmville would. Nightclub, young males. Family Feud, more of a family concept trivia. My Empire, Ranch Town, build a ranch. And of course, Millionaire City is about building a big house and Wall Street and investments. They're starting to take off, where a product that probably cost less than $1,000 to develop, with the website, a tip guide, maybe some videos on how to do well in that game, is making hundreds of thousands, based on these numbers, hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. And you're going to start seeing the trends like we see with Farmville on the Internet Time Machine here. Imagine being at the very beginning of seeing My Nightclub gold rewards, or My Empire, Addiction, Dr. Phil, whatever it is, the new games coming up. Very low barrier to entry on these. You really don't need a ton of money to get started to make these sites or come up with cheat guides. So instead of spending millions and millions of dollars, and it even mentions at the bottom of this post how Azam Khan articulates on Social Times, building successful games is becoming much more costly. So instead of building and trying to compete in one of the areas where everyone's competing, much like the iPhone app analogy where you can build a car holder and make tons of money with no competition, developing a cheat guide for less than maybe $500, where you can make hundreds of thousands of dollars a month if you just knew which was the next Farmville. Well, here's a good thing. And obviously checking through the Internet Time Machine filters and daily mentions has given us a lead by seeing My Empire and Family Feud and not knowing why it was there and just doing a little research. So very hot news. It's such an exciting area to come up with, be the first one to SEO or PPC this, that we may post it in the forum. We may want to team up with you if somebody wants to do some cheat sheet type course for these games as they grow. Because once you get in the search engines and you have the guide, you literally millions. You could make millions coming up with just the guides, and we'll promote you as well on our website and get you the affiliate attention you need to hopefully be the first person to have a Nightclub City Guide or Backdoor Tricks or My Empire or Ranch Town.